All right, so let's go ahead and dive into date function in SQL. And from my understanding, it's pretty much there are two types of date functions, which are date trunc. I think it's TRUNK. Sorry, we'll go back to that again because we won't, because it's not the proper thing that I want to look into. And then there's date trunc, which basically cuts off the remainder of the date format, whatever, depending on whatever we choose. And then there is date part or poll. Can't recall. Yeah, date part. So quickly, it basically date trunc allows you to truncate your date to a particular part of your date time. So let's say if you were truncating at the month, sorry, imagine if the date was 2006-15. So that's June 15th of 2000. And if you were to truncate at the month, it would simply just show us 2006-01-000000, because everything else will be taken off. The other part is date part. Basically, it just pulls a specific type of specific portion of the date. So from that 2000 June 6th and June 15th, it would simply just if we were to pull the day of week, then it would give us the day of week. Day of week would give us whatever the day the 15th was on, and that's what we would get. And the same thing for the month, which would give us 06. Same thing for the year, which would give us 2000. Interesting. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. And here we are. So the first one is going to be, so the first query is going to be asking for finding the sales in terms of total dollar for all orders in each year, ordered by greatest to the least. Do you notice any trends in the yearly sales totals? So let's build the ERD real quick, entity relations diagram, in case you need a clarification. So finding the sales in terms of total dollar, in terms of total dollars for all orders in each year. Find the sales in terms of total dollars for all orders. Okay. So basically we got to find the total dollars. So pretty much the amount of sales that were made in terms of dollars every year. So what I see it as, so let's actually start by like going from the actual query side. Just taking on a sweater real quick. So, just the table itself, from web events, let's say, or should I just do orders? Let's do orders, and limit it down to 10 because the table is pretty majorly big, majorly huge, big. Occurred at 2015, right? So we have all these dates, right? They have pretty much the whole format. Year, month, date, hour, month, and second. Sorry, hour, minute, and seconds. Now, if we want to see total sales per year, I assume that we would have to now I just don't know if we're going to use which of these two functions. So let's start off anyway, and we will figure it out as we go. And since right now, from the looks of it, we're just going to be working with just one table for now, so this will be the orders, so that's pretty good. So if we were to do, for instance, occurred at, and let's say if we were to do year, no, that's not year. It's going to be total amount, sorry, occurred at, and total USD amount, or amount USD? Not USD, I believe. Yeah. and group by occurred at. Now the thing with this is that it's not really going to be able to give us anything in particular. Could technically do a count or a summation of the amount, but again, right, because the granularity of the time, I mean, the date is so like down to the seconds, likely that there's no two transactions that have happened at the same time to be able to give us a combination of the money. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. If I was to do, I'm wondering, I just want to try it out and see what catches, what sticks. Date part and truncate is that, and then date part is going to be year, I'm assuming. Okay, date part. Date part. That would give us the year, and would be not likely need to do, and if I just do set up the alias year, let's see, syntax or near date part. Okay, now I think I'm just going to duplicate this tab and I'm going to go back one page to really see how they used it. Okay, so order group by one refers to the first, since the first column and the second. Okay. Day part, day of week. Right. Oh, okay. Date part occurred. Date part, second year. Okay. Year, date part of year. Interesting. Saying basically to put orders dot must be appearing in. No, but what if I want to do year though? So that kind of got us. So I'm just taking out the group by for a second and just trying to see that we got the total amounts at different times of the year likely being spent, right? So we got 900, 1700, 770, et cetera, and for the various years. Now, if you were to group it, what if I wanted to group it by the following? Must appear in the I'm pretty sure I'm goofing this up pretty big. Find the scales in terms of order for all orders, and right. So in which case we did. So in this case, the way I see it is this is not any different than any other column. So like pulling another column, except that we're just specifying something that we want in the column. It's not an aggregation. It's not really yeah, it's not really an aggregation, whereas like this fella right here. And therefore, we are able to group it by this because it's still the same data that we're getting, but we're just getting the piece or a portion of the total data that we received in the occurred at. So, and if we were to do order by, we would likely see this number to be on top, and this, and that, and this, and that. I'm just too lazy to. Actually, I'm not lazy. I'm just gonna quickly just check the solution because I'm quite interested to see how they did it. So let's go ahead and move on to solutions for this fella. And number one, So I want to look at this first. When we look at the yearly totals, you might notice 2013 and 2017 have much smaller amounts than all of the years. If you look further at the monthly data, we'll see that for 2013 and 2017, there was only 1 month of sales for each of these years. 12 for 2013 and 1 for. There's only 1 month of sales, so December and January. Therefore, neither of these are evenly represented. Sales have been increasing year over year, with 2016 being the largest. At this rate, we might expect 2017 to have the largest sale. So coming back to this, it's interesting that now they're using numbered versus having to assign, like pretty much retype on this whole thing, but that's fine. And also the reason this was highlighted was because it might just be a restricted keyword. So let's do sales year, right? Then we'll simply just get that. That's perfect. So let's look at this. So basically, they just pulled apart the date the occurred at to get only the year. So that's how I guess I can read it, is that you're pulling apart the date, the occurred at date, to only get the year. And then which itself is just another column, right? It's not an aggregation again. And then we're going to go ahead and with the second column, we're going to aggregate an aggregatable column, which is a dollar amount, because you can simply sum up integers. And it's going to be named as total amount, and from order and group by and order. And also a good thing to note is that we are grouping by the year, right? It wouldn't have been any different if the occurred by was given in a year. Then we would simply just proceed by saying occurred at, then the sum of this, and go by that. It's not really that different. Sorry, I'm not going to look at the solution. Sorry about that. And then let's go ahead and continue on to our next. Let me come up with that again. It's completely from my own understanding. So we have orders. Okay, and like I said, following my own advice, so using date part or date trunk, we're not creating any aggregation. We're just simply taking a portion of the data. So we're going to do date part, and what was that? Date part here, and we're going to do occurred at, and then we're going to do the sum, which is going to be of the total amount USD. And then we're going to order it by, we're going to group it by 1. That's actually a very nice way of doing this. So, and then we're going to go ahead and order by, we can do it by 2. So basically the first column is, the first column here is number 1, number 2, so on and so forth. Order by, and since by default it's ascending, so that would, and what if we just wanted to do descending, we get the top, we get the highest on top. So here we are. Perfect. Amazing.